All right, we are on minute 20 of this workout. We are into part C. This is going to be a finisher muscle pump. So we're going to do some skull crushers. So I'm looking at focusing on the triceps, but also getting a stretch with this movement. So the other options were tricep push downs with a band or a French press, but I'm going to show you the skull crusher. You want to get your head to the very back of the bench. We're going for 25. So at the bottom, you're getting a pretty serious stretch through your lats. Pushing it up. Start to the bottom. Push it. All right, that was close. I think I got 22 or 23. All right, now we're moving on to the Patrick reverse step up. This is a good way to let our arms rest. We're gonna keep this pretty quick between each side. So between each exercise, just moving back and forth. I'm on minute 22 of the workout. Now I'm not gonna do 25 on each side. I'm gonna do about 15. Patrick step up is not a squat. You're keeping your torso upright, controlling your way down, heel touch, back up. So the goal with this is to get a quad pump, blood flow into the knee, stability, and ankle range of motion and strength. So if your heel needs to pop up a little bit, it's okay. However, this height is 6 inches and that might be a little bit too high to start with. It's a pretty advanced height for this exercise. So I would start with maybe a weight plate or a couple weight plates, or if there's some sort of step in your gym that's lower than 6 inches. And also, if you need to stabilize yourself holding on to the wall, a bar, squat rack, whatever it is. This is a great thing to do to help improve your squats. It's going to help build your tendons in your knee. It's harder to get blood flow into your tendons. Muscles take blood flow very easily. It takes a lot to get blood flow and healing into your tendons. So we need to pump some blood into that with lots of repetitions. All right, second and final set of skull crusher. This time I'm going to set up with my head on the bench. Last time it was a little off the edge and that made it a little more difficult at the end. If you've never done these before, you're going to feel a pretty intense burn the next day if you pick the right weight for yourself. It's a good challenge, and you're going to feel it in your lats. The stretch is pretty intense, and you want that. Just don't hurt your shoulders. If you have shoulder issues, start light, but do not avoid range of motion with lifting. That's going to lead to more injuries long term than gently and appropriately increasing range of motion with a loaded stretch. All right, I don't think I got to 25. 30 pounds is a little much for me for that exercise. Next time I'd probably back it down to 25 pounds. I have a 25-pound kettlebell I could use. All right, last set of Patrick step-ups. These are called reverse step-ups. Ben Patrick kind of designed this movement. He was inspired by some older great strength trainers, Charles Poliquin. It's also called the Poliquin step-up with a little slightly different variation. But I really like this variation where you allow the heel to pop up if you need to, because that's going to really help build stability and strength through your ankle. That said, you want to try to keep your heel down as much as possible, trying to increase the range of motion of dorsiflexion in your foot and your ankle. So since I'm talking, I've kind of lost count, but the burn's getting pretty real, so I'm going to switch sides. See if I can get 15. Nice and controlled. Make sure you're not caving your knee in or bending over too much with this movement. Keep your chest up, keep your knee traveling straight forward, and regress it as needed in order to attain that form. All right, last part of our workout. We're at 27 minutes almost, and I got stretches. All right, we've got a couch stretch and a lat stretch. This lat stretch, I can use my ring. I'm going to hang here, bring my feet over, cross, hang here. You can even hold on to something. How much grip strength and how comfortable your shoulder is hanging is going to limit how long you can hold this stretch. But you should feel it from really your arm, your inside of your elbow, all the way through your armpit, down your back, your lat, through your ribs. So we're going to do that on each side. Aim for about a minute on this stretch. If you need to take a rest, do the other side for 30 seconds. Come back and finish another 30 seconds. Now I want to show you another way you can do this instead of doing the other side that same way. In a squat rack with the bar, hold the middle of the bar and just hang here. So you're going to feel it all the way down to your hip, the stretch. I actually kind of like this setup a little bit better. It allows me to hang a little bit longer. And the goal here is stretching your lats out. And a lot of these stretches are also going to be loaded stretches. So you're increasing your strength, increasing your range of motion at the same time. That's the most effective way to increase length in your muscles and in your joints, is by loading the stretch. All right, so that's the lat hang. Last stretch, I picked this one. This is one I've been doing consistently. I think it's probably the single-handed most useful stretch for people to do. If they had to pick just one, I need to find my pads. This is called the couch stretch. And you can start with this. Actually, let me show you the starting position for this. Would be on a couch with your foot up. This is going to be a more gentle position to get into this stretch on, with your toes pointed behind you instead of pointed straight up a wall. Now the focus with this stretch is squeeze your glute. It's going to put more tension on your quad, more tension on your hip flexors by engaging your glute, and leaning back as far as you can. The goal will be to get closer and closer to the couch, getting your knee closer to the couch, and eventually getting your foot to point straight up a wall and sitting in this position. So let me show you what that looks like. And this is one where you really want to hang out in it for 2 minutes. It's hard to create a change in your structure if you're not hanging out and actually sitting into the stretch for an extended period of time. So this is more advanced with your toe up the wall. I'm not quite flush against the wall yet, and my back's not quite up against the wall. So that's going to be the more advanced position from this. You can also lean forward while still maintaining activation of your glute to stretch through your quad, through your hip flexors. That's going to be a little less intense if you lean forward. And then over time, sit up straight. If you need to push against like yoga blocks or a couch or something to help pull yourself backwards to create more of a stretch. This should really help with running, just to create more space, less tightness in your quads and in your hip flexors. So hang out for 2 minutes on each side. If you do that a few times a week, honestly, as much as you can, every other day would be ideal to create a change. You'll be golden. And we are at 32 minutes, so I did like a 2-minute warm-up before I started this whole workout, but like I said in the write-up, the weights are lower, so you shouldn't need to spend too much time warming up. Just jump right into it, and you should be able to get your workout done in 45 minutes.